There was one good thing that my mom has told me for the longest while I was growing up was that I should not depend on any man. Now, of course, I think the way that she would explain it with like no explanation or anything was a bit toxic. But as I've gotten older and I've been in a long term relationship, I've come to understand what she meant by that, even if she couldn't explain it too well. And if there was anything that I could tell anyone watching this is that make sure that you have your own. Not in a toxic way where you don't need to depend on anybody that you're with, but that you have your own so that way you're always able to rely on yourself. And from my experience, whether it was the smartest or the dumbest thing to do, while I've been in my long term relationship, we've both kind of had our situations here and there where one of us was working and one of us wasn't. And of course, one of us was like the sole provider. And we had been together 2 years long distance before we ended up moving in together. We had this conversation. I was like, is it okay if like I move there and I don't work for a bit of time? Cause like I just need like the mental space to think about what I want to do or what I need for myself, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. And of course, there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I should do this because that's not what I've been told, and blah, blah, blah. And even he would mention it. He's like, but didn't your mom tell you that, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah, but I feel okay with depending on you. You haven't given me a reason to not feel that way. And so to move from a state like New York, where I have the ability to be like very, very independent, and to move to like the South, where like, because I don't know how to drive. So, like, to have to rely on him to take me places all of the time, it's like it indirectly was like making me become more dependent on him, like way more than I wanted to. And I don't think I noticed it at the time. So I would still try to walk to places here and there, especially if it was like literally like across the street, but it still felt so damn far. And at some point I stopped, but it would just get annoying because I'm like, damn, I really gotta learn to drive. But even if I learn to drive, I don't have a car. And so like that was like the very first like situation where I saw my independence like literally go out the window because now I have to depend on somebody to take me places. And it wasn't a problem at first, but there's times where I may need to get something done. That person may had a long day or they may just not want to do it, which is fine. But they may want to do it later, but I want to do it now. And it's like that caused issues. And I think naturally it made me very codependent because it's like I live in a place where I need to know how to drive to get around. Public transportation is like it pretty much just doesn't exist here. But when it turns into a situation where because you don't have much income, you're always asking that person to buy you things or to take you somewhere or to do that in the third, like eventually over time, you're going to feel like crap because of the fact that you can't just rely on yourself for it. So with my new job, I'm just like, wow, I feel so happy. I feel so good to have my own money. Even if I'm not making a lot, I can go by that. Where I want to go here, I'm gonna just call it Uber and just go. Like, it's so simple. It is so simple, but I don't have to depend on somebody else to fulfill that need for me because I can do it myself. And then if they choose that they want to do this, it just adds to it rather than it feeling like they're taking away. Because it's like when you're independent, you can be more detached in a healthy manner. And I think when you're in a position where you can depend on yourself, you know that you can trust yourself to follow through for certain things that you may need to do or you may want to do. And you don't really have to rely on another person, which would also create that, as I was saying, like that codependency attachment that you may not have been trying to create. Because I think that's the most important thing is out of all of it is not in a toxic way, like, oh, don't ever depend on a man for nothing, but just like make sure you can depend on yourself first and then you can depend on him second. Because at the end of the day, like in romantic relationships, the other person that you're dating, like at any point in time, like they could just get up and be like, okay, I don't do this anymore. And if you've been in a position where you haven't been making sure that you have your own independence, you will definitely feel like shit out of luck. And I think that I felt that way a few months ago, and not even because of the other person, but on my end, I was like, man, if I ever thought that I'm not happy anymore, am I financially okay enough to like get up and go? Because it's not like I'm in the state my parents live in. Like I'm like thousands of miles away. And so when I realized that the answer to that is no, I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm good financially, not even just for a situation like that, but really for like anything else. Like it just feels good to have my own. And then here and there, I'm gonna be like, oh, could you get me this or could you take me here, blah, blah. But like, it's not where I feel like I can't do anything without having that person's permission is the worst feeling. I wish this was also explained to me when I was younger. Finances are the like almost like foundation of a relationship. And I believe that when it's not, I guess you could say balance, but let's just say in this scenario that the man is the breadwinner and, you don't work. So you never know if the person that has all the money can kind of take that dynamic and turn it into something toxic where they may be in control of that money and you may want to use it for something or maybe even need it for something. And if they say no, it's kind of like, well, the answer is no, right? Now, of course, it's not always the case, and it could still be something healthy, but you may still feel as if, like, this doesn't go for people in these type of scenarios, but you may still feel as if you may want or need something, and they may give it to you, but it's like every time you want or need something, you always have to ask. Like, it's not just like you have it. You know what I'm saying? For some people, like, they don't mind doing stuff like that. They're cool with it, and I think that's totally fine. But for other people, having that security, in my mind, in my opinion, I feel like having that security creates a better dynamic sometimes. Because sometimes, even for situations like that, sometimes people just want to have something part time just so they have their own income. It's not because they don't trust that person or they feel like they can't depend on them or anything, but just having your own security, it just makes you feel more secure in yourself. And lastly, I do think that when you are able to have your own income and you're able to reinvest in yourself, I do think it does help develop the relationship in a much better manner, like positively. Because at least for me, like right now, I'm relearning how to reprioritize myself, but I'm also enjoying having my own income, which to some degree I haven't had for a little while. And I didn't realize that even though I could depend on him, there was just so many things that I may want to buy or so many things that I need or places I need to go. And it's like all these things cost money. And I don't want to feel as if I'm feeling some type of way because, you know, it's not that he can't do this, but he doesn't have the money right now. So I got to wait for who knows how long until I can get this thing, but I'll still get it. And that wouldn't sit right with me. And now that I do have my own form of income, I I genuinely am happier and it's allowing me to prioritize myself like way more than before. And so because I feel happy and because I have that security within me now and I don't feel like I'm overly depending on him to follow through at least financially, I'm like already seeing like a change in my relationship, which I think is funny, but it's also helping me like have a healthier attachment to him too because I know, which I literally told him this like maybe the other day. I was like, I know that if I said I really want to buy this, could you get me that? You may say yeah, you'll get it, but like I don't know when you're gonna get it. But at least I know that if I want to get it like within a week, I'm going to get it within a week. And if for some reason you got it too, then hey, maybe we could take it back and exchange it for something else, or you can buy me something else. But like I have the option to not feel as if like if he doesn't get it, I'm gonna be upset because I really want this thing. So now that I can buy it, but I'm just letting him know, so maybe he may want to surprise me or something, that's fine. Hey, even though you make more money than me, I can still rely on you, but it's not to the point where it's like bordering like codependency. But when it's more balanced and you have more interdependence rather than codependence, it's like I can depend on you for this, but I don't really need to, but like I have the choice to, rather than I'm really depending on you for this. So if you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, please leave a like and subscribe. I do make videos weekly, and leave a comment down below with one way you're going to start investing in yourself this year as well. See you guys in the next one.